Hello, welcome. So today we're in Best of Redditor Updates, where the OP gets forcibly taken. Now I'm having to say it like that because if you say the word that we will probably say later in the video, at the start it will suppress me into submission, so I can't do it. But yeah, gets taken against their own will for a proposal. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in listening to today, then stick around and enjoy. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Okay, so this one was posted in the Best of Redditor Updates subreddit by Boru Posts. The little tagline next to their username say hobbies include scouring Reddit for Boru content. Fair enough, because they are very, very interesting. So this one is OP gets forcibly taken. Read the word on the screen because again, I can't say it this early in because I will get suppressed, I have noticed, for a proposal. And I say suppressed. I know it's not like I'm getting like thousands of views, but still every little counts, you know? So they're not the OOP. The OOP is Cautious Rabbit, posted in True Off My Chest, the same old spiel that we go through at the start of all of these. So the original post reads, my 23F boyfriend's 26M friends pretended to forcibly take me for a proposal, April 21st, 2023. The mind boggles on why they thought this was a good idea without even reading the post. What the F is wrong with them? I am trembling and just created this alt account because my main has a lot of details about me that would make it easy to trace back. A week ago, my boyfriend told me he had a camping trip planned with his friends on Friday, today. He said he would have no service and he'll see me on Sunday. He messaged me at 5 a.m. this morning and told me that they are hitting the road. Around 8, I went for a run, like I usually do on Fridays. I have one headphone in while I do because I was on a work call. Interjecting here just to say, if you are out on a run on your own, especially if you're a woman and you want to take headphones and music to listen to, always only use one of the headphones. Use earbuds and only use one, and make sure that you do not have noise cancelling on, even if you're only using the one. Because obviously if someone's coming at you from the side that's wearing the headphone and you've got noise cancelling on, you might not notice. It is imperative for your safety that you can hear what is going on around you, because you can't always see if there's a lot of trees, bushes, whatever. You can't always see if someone's there, but you'll be damn sure you'll hear it, you know? So keep the music low, make sure noise cancelling is off, only use one headphone. I totally get it because I can't go outside without a headphone in, but I only ever use one. It's just such a simple thing you can do to help keep yourself safe. Anyway, back to the post. While I was running, I noticed an SUV that kept popping up. In hindsight, it looked just like my boyfriend's childhood friend's car. I sent a message to my sister saying to stand by and shared my location. Very smart. Right after sending the message, I looked up and the SUV was right beside me and someone jumped out of it and grabbed me. It happened so fast, I even dropped my phone on the pavement. I was pulled into this car and I could tell there was at least 2 masked guys in the back before they covered my eyes. In hindsight, they had cartoonish ski masks on and gloves. What the actual hell? Like, what on earth? Oh my god, I would actually wee, you know. I'd be like, excuse me, Mr. Kidnapper, but can we please go and swing by my place? Because I am wet and not in a good way. My mum always jokes that you never had to worry about me getting kidnapped as a kid or a teenager because they would have brought me right back because I don't shut up. Does that surprise any of us? No, not really. I freaked out and resisted like crazy, screaming and kicking. All I could hear was these guys laughing, and I could feel one of them holding me down by my arms behind me, and the other was holding my legs down at the knees. I don't know how long I was in there, but I kept begging them to let me go and crying. I even admit I peed on myself. Exactly! I think having a good old whiz when you're scared out your wits is a very reasonable response. I don't think they noticed until we arrived at the house. They pulled me out of the car and I was screaming for help until I was pulled into a house. When the mask on my head was removed, I was on my knees in front of my boyfriend of 2 years. He was staring at me with a confused look before he started to angrily ask his friends what was going on. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I would batter them. As I started to adjust to what was going on, I realised he was dressed nice and there was romantic decorations around the entryway to his house. I realised who he was and what was going on and collapsed into sobs. I probably had 5-minute panic attack in that car on my way there and another one sitting in the entryway to his house. I was sweaty, wearing soiled yoga pants, flushed with fear and scared for my life. That was all about an hour or two ago. My boyfriend took me upstairs and was going to help me get showered and changed, but I wanted to do that alone. I heard yelling and commotion downstairs while I showered, but I don't know what is going on. I'm sitting in his room now, holding my shattered phone after crying to my sister about what just happened. She lives 1.5 hours away, but is speeding over to get to me now. Oh God, I tell you what, oh my life. If that boyfriend didn't completely knock his friends' heads together, what is he even like to be keeping friends like that anyway? Like, I am speechless. I am absolutely fuming for the OP. My goodness, I can't imagine how absolutely horrifyingly scary that must have been for her. I feel awful for her. I can't stop thinking about what happened. And even though I know now I was never in any danger, I don't think my brain can comprehend it. They were snickering and teasing me in deepened voices about what they were going to do to me. I'm sorry, I just had to start reading that sentence again because I literally had to stop halfway through because my mouth was hanging open in shock. This is disgusting. Listen to this. The one that was holding my legs down kept caressing my thighs up and down into the inner area. Oh, these friends need to be on a register. They need to be in prison. They sound actually very deranged. When the car would brake, his face kept falling into my chest. I don't even know who that was. I just know one of them sounding unsure and kept trying to defuse the situation, but I think it was the driver. Edit, my sister arrived. She wants to take me to the police station now. I haven't spoke to my boyfriend yet, but I think there's more to this story than he knew about. I'll have to log off for a while. Thank you for the support in the comments. I really hope they do go to the police because, oh my goodness, these guys sound genuinely deranged. Like, genuinely. Worrisome. Edit 2. I'm working with police now. Good. Oh, thank God. Good. This is going to be investigated as a false imprisonment if I press charges. My sense of time was so warped from where I was picked up to his house was about 7 or 10 minutes in the car. It felt like way longer than that. As for the friends, the driver was his childhood best friend who I actually get along with well. He was in tears when he voluntarily arrived at the police station for a statement. The other 2 friends were from his athletics class that he started attending a few months ago. It seems like the 2 guys I didn't know wanted in on what otherwise was supposed to be something more innocent. The original plan was for them to pop out of this car in their funny kidnapping attire and hand me a letter that explained I was being summoned by boyfriend and resistance is futile, which would have been funny! You know, perhaps don't pop out in full kidnapper gear, at least make yourself recognisable so you don't scare the absolute shite out of the poor girl, but that would have been funny and you would have been like, oh, okay, I'm coming, you know? But this was deranged. Seems like the plan changed as the 2 new friends wanted to shake me up a bit more and make it feel more real. There's shaking you up a bit, and then there's having you drop your phone, making you piss yourself, feeling up your inner thigh and God knows what else, and putting your face in someone's tartars. That's a whole lot different. One is a funny little role-playing setup. The other is a crime. Edit 3. I've had time to calm down and long talks with my sister. We are going to meet up with my ex, boyfriend for dinner. We are going to meet up with my ex, boyfriend for dinner tonight. He has been respectful of my requests for space, but has been emotional whenever he thinks about what I went through this morning. His best friend contacted me, repeatedly apologizing for allowing it to get that far, but I asked him to stop, and he did. The best friend's fiance reached out and has been supportive and apologetic too. I'm astounded at the support I've received here, and I wish I could thank each of you individually. I've never had anyone other than my sister and boyfriend care for my mental well-being like this. Reddit is a very kind place sometimes. Yeah, I mean, the best friend can apologize as much as he wants, but he was the driver, so at any time he could have slammed on the brakes and said, "You two get the frig out my car before I batter the pair." This is disgusting. Do you know what I mean? He could have put a stop to it at so many points. He was the driver. He could have refused to even take them there, knowing what they were saying, that they wanted to make it more extreme and to shake her up. You know? The best friend, as bad as he might feel now, hindsight is a magical thing, isn't it? But at the end of the day, you took part, you drove the car, you took them there. You could have stopped it then. You could have stopped it when they grabbed OP and dragged her into the car, clearly scared, clearly trying to act threatening. You could have stuck on the brakes. You could have said, "OP, don't worry, it's me. This is all just a joke. It's fine," you know? But they didn't, because they're a little fanny and didn't want to speak up, you know? They're still just as at fault in my eyes, no matter how bad they feel now. So then we've got some relevant comments from the original thread on people discussing whether the boyfriend was involved. OP, I agree with both of you. Sorry, I'm in and out right now. My sister is almost here and my boyfriend wants to talk, but I asked for space, so he's making tea and waiting for me to open the door or come downstairs. I don't think he knew how they were going to do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he used the words kidnap and they took it too far. Yeah, but that's when you have to actually lay out a very, very, very strict plan of action for something like this. If you're going to do like a little silly fake kidnapping, like you say, where they pop out the car, you can see who they are, you know who they are, and they make sure you know who they are, but they're like, "Oh, boyfriend says you have to come with us and you've got to let us like pretend to kidnap you. Like, we're kidnapping you, you're not allowed to say no, your boyfriend has sent us." That's funny, and it gives the person chance to consent to the whole situation in the first place. But instead, they made this poor OP thinking they were either going to be trafficked or murdered, you know? He's never given a red flag before, but if his friends are crazy like this, I need to reevaluate him too. Yep, absolutely. You are the company you keep at the end of the day. You're only as good as the people you revolve yourself around. And I know that sounds harsh, but it is true, because sooner or later they are going to seep into all areas of your life. I'm not sure, and I don't want to immediately talk to him. I think I'm feeling traumatized or something, because I just can't physically talk to anyone except my sister. I think getting some good counseling very quickly, trauma counseling, is a very good idea here, because again, I imagine that the OP thought they were either going to be trafficked or murdered or R-worded, you know? That's going to cause a lot of, I imagine, PTSD. On if OP's boyfriend is from a culture where something like this is more common. Let's put a pin in that for a second and stop right there, because I don't think anyone should ever use culture or religion to excuse doing a violent act like that, because it was violent. They were touching her in places that she didn't consent to. They grabbed her and dragged her into a car that she didn't consent to be in. They basically sexually assaulted her by touching her in her nether regions and on her tartars. I hate having to say it so stupidly, but you know why I am. Like, I don't think anyone should ever use culture or religion to excuse that, because I don't care what culture you're from. Something like that is not acceptable. OP. No, he's ethnically from the Middle East, and I'm from Eastern Europe. Very similar backgrounds, actually. We were both born and raised in America. We are both culturally and socially very Western American. A commenter asks if OOP could possibly stay with her sister and get some space from boyfriend. OP, I don't leave with my boyfriend, so either I will stay with my sister a city away, or she will stay with me tonight. I'm so glad you at least had someone stay with you on the night that this happened, for sure. A lot of comments are people showing support to OP and validating that this is trauma. A few questioning how involved the boyfriend is in all of this, which I think is fair to speculate on. Hello, I apologise for going MIA. I saw my story posted on r/bestofRedditorUpdates. So I Inception. Subreddit Inception. So I finally logged back in. I have a lot I wish I could tell you all, but unfortunately, due to legal consultation, it's best to keep a lot of it private. In short, I'm healing. My now fiance had a private proposal with me last week. Not sure how I feel about that. Unless, of course, to be fair, he could not have expected that his friends were going to do this. They might have gone out and done it all on their own. However, I at least hope that he got rid of these friends before you agreed to something like that. We had many tough conversations, and his responses to everything reminded me how safe and loved I am by him. He didn't ask for or endorse that type of plan. I've learnt that the two friends whom I didn't know were highly influenced by YouTube pranksters. Oh, for fuck's sake. Stop. This is why I think YouTube pranksters are the chlamydia of YouTube. Honest to goodness. I think pranks, just pranks. Oh, it's a prank. No, if it's something done at someone else's expense to traumatize them or make them feel bad in the moment, it's not a prank. You're just an asshole. And social experiment channels. Honestly, if you could see my face right now. If only you could see my face right now. Also, one of them let us know he is on the spectrum and apologised for his part. Not an excuse at all. Do not be tarnishing people who are on the spectrum with the brush that they are violent or disturbed and will do things that are violent or disturbed. That is not how being on the spectrum works, and it is not an excuse for something disgusting and demoralising like this. Not at all. Never an excuse. Being on the spectrum is never an excuse for enacting abuse or dangerous things. I mean, obviously, people on the spectrum can sometimes put themselves in danger because they just might not notice things. However, endangering someone else, not an excuse for it. Abusing someone else, not an excuse for it. Acts of violence, acts of this, whatever the hell you would call this, it's not an excuse. Don't ever use that excuse. Like, I don't want to see anyone ever use that excuse. It makes people think that it's okay to discriminate against people on the spectrum, and it's not okay. I think that's all I can share for now. I am only consulting right now and may not press charges. Thank you so much for all your kindness and support. Opening my inbox today warmed my heart incredibly. Edit, there are a lot of people who disagree with me staying with my fiance. I am one of them. I have my hand up in the air right now. Me. I am one of them. I'm sorry I couldn't explain in detail how confident I am in him throughout this. Please read carefully before passing judgment. I'm sorry I couldn't please everyone with my decision, but after further response, I think pressing charges is the best course of action. Yes, definitely. Oh my god, definitely. Maybe I'm a bit too tender-hearted, but I didn't want the former best friend to get some flack too. But it seems he has to. Yeah, because he could have stopped it at any moment. I feel like I'm going insane here. And then we have a new update as of December 30th, 2024. So very, very recently. Hello, concerned friends. I'm not sure if anyone still remembers me, but I wanted to give a final update as I close out this year. 2024 was crazy for me. I spent the entire year working on myself in therapy. I'm so glad you went and got therapy. I think this will help you so much. I developed an obvious trauma response to being in public, especially when men would be sneaking up behind me or quickly exiting cars near me. That is how bad of what they did is that it has caused somebody to have PTSD. But I also developed a fear that made life tough. I became very afraid of my fiance's friends. I love and trust my friends and family with all of my being, but I found that I couldn't trust anyone who he brought into our life because of a feeling of loss of control. Sorry this is a bit incoherent. I'm not really sure of how I feel myself, but the point is, if I haven't vetted and learnt to trust people, I struggle allowing them into my life. I decided to end things with my ex-fiance. Oh, I'm so glad. Because even if he didn't have part in it, these are the kind of people that he chooses to hang around with. and you don't need that in your life. It was tough and took months to do, but I feel better for it. He is a great man, but there were behaviours from him and his friends before, during, and after the incident that gave me pause. The doubt and I would love to know what those were. The doubt and mental anguish was too much, and I just had to run away from it all. Shockingly to me, but not my therapist, I feel immensely better now. It's almost like a switch went off, and being away from him has expedited my healing so much. I'm scared being at my age and starting over, but I'd rather not be married at all than live in a stress like I was. Happy New Year, everyone. Also, update, on the legal side, the charges were dropped and I was not mentally able to pursue anything further. That's highly disappointing. The legal system sometimes absolutely baffles me at what they will let people get away with. I will say the lives of his friends have been stained, and I don't care to check the extent. Good. I just know there was a breakup and one was kicked out of their living situation over it all. Good, as they flaming well deserve. I honestly, I think someone that's going to do something like that is a dangerous person in society. I genuinely do. I think that they wanted to frighten you and they got a kick out of scaring you so bad. That is so concerning. I feel like they are future bloody murderers. We're going to see them on a true crime podcast at some point, I have a feeling. And down in the comments, Haggis Lad has all but confirmed my thoughts as well. Those guys really wanted to kidnap someone for real. Effing buttholes. And then 41 Flavors and Then Some says, I read something that said many crimes are not premeditated. Somebody sees an opportunity and goes for it. These friends are deranged. Yeah, it's almost like the boyfriend had been like, hey, bring my girlfriend to me. Just make it like a funny little kidnap, but, you know, make sure that she knows. And then they've gone, ha ha, here's our opportunity to be absolutely mental. Oh, icky, icky, icky. It makes me feel very concerned. It makes me feel not very nice. So I can't imagine how the OP felt. Like, genuinely, I stopped the recording, like, after I read the first bit, and I just sat there and tried to put myself in their shoes of how I would feel if that happened to me. And, just with it never having happened to me, obviously, and just imagining that it had, was enough to make me feel so incredibly uncomfortable and anxious. So for it to actually happen, yeah, that it's got to be traumatizing, and clearly is, because look at where OP is at now. I just feel so incredibly sorry for her. Like, that is just an awful thing. I'm so glad she did leave the ex-fiance though, because I think no matter what, no matter how good of a guy he is, if he had no part in it, the relationship is just tainted now. And I don't think it's something that many people are going to be able to move past, unfortunately. Even if he was the best guy ever, I would 100% understand not being able to move past that, you know? And on that note, we're going to leave it there for today. That was, oh my God, that was a wild ride. That was so wild. I'm so floored just by what they did, what they chose to do. And I am so incredibly sorry for the OP. And I really hope that they can recover and eventually learn to trust people again. But I 100% understand if they never can. That poor woman. Poor woman. Anyway, if you made it to the end of the video, then I appreciate you very, very much. I know I did ramble a lot in this one, but I had a lot of thoughts, okay? And I gotta get them out. You guys are the only people I can get them out to. Nobody else is interested in this Reddit stuff that I know. So you guys get to listen to it instead. So yeah, if you made it all the way to the end, then I appreciate you very much. If you give us a like and subscribe, I'd appreciate you even more. Other than that, I'm going to disappear and lie in a dark room with a pillow on my head for a bit, to be honest. I think I need it. You probably do too, after listening, to be fair. Anyway, I hope you have a really good rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. Goodbye.